Che.
I'm Charmaine.
And we are the Monago family, Monago family, Monago family, And the kids are sleeping upstairs, so we're trying to be
quiet,
energetic and quiet at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are a bit tired though.
Nah, I'm tired.
We're tired, but we're bringing our content to you because we made a commitment to you guys.
So we're gonna do it.
So we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We are.
We are.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
We're talking about schools.
We are talking about schools. Look,
about schools.
So as you guys know or may not know, by the way, a bit of housekeeping. If you are new to our channel and you just come across our channel and you want to follow these lovely people, as well as our kids who are asleep and our wonderful family, please subscribe. And Monago family, please give us a huge thumbs up now and hit the notification bell so you know when we post. And as Safira says, share our content like you just don't care. And that's how it works.
Yes.
So we'll get straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into it?
Yes.
Should we get into it?
Yes.
Should we get into it?
Yes.
What are we getting into?
Schools.
All right, cool. So look, we have put our children in school in Dubai.
We have.
Right? For us, one of the things that I think may have held us back a bit from moving quicker than we did to Dubai was probably thinking about paying school fees.
Yes.
I think. We have 4 kids, as you may or may not know, depending if you are a regular and if you are part of the MF squad or you're not. But anyway, we have 4 kids, and yeah, 4 kids in paying for school is scary.
Very scary.
It's scary.
It's still scary.
It's scary. It's scary, but not as scary, and we'll explain why.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, our children were in state school. So I know we've got followers all around the world, and the school systems are different around the world. But I guess in most countries, you have the state options. And so, yeah, in the UK, our children were in state school. It was a good state school. So we're quite lucky to be in a catchment area. And yeah, so the idea of paying for school was something that we didn't really want to do. I mean, we spent a lot of money on nursery, to be fair, a ridiculously eye-watering amount of money on nursery because you have to pay for private nursery. Most people pay for private nursery in the UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, rest in peace the nursery money that we spent for all our kids. It's eye-watering. But look, ultimately we didn't used to pay for school.
Yeah.
So firstly, so what we want to cover in this vlog, basically, just to give you an idea, is how we found the process of finding a school for our kids in Dubai, how it's a bit different to the UK, and basically, you know, how much it costs really, an indication of how much it costs. Why'd you laugh?
No, it's fine.
Why'd you laugh?
No, because when you talk about spending money on private school, it's just, you know, it's a lot of money, isn't it? So some people are just like, oh gosh, how much? I know everyone's waiting. That's why I'm laughing, because I know everyone wants to know how much it actually costs.
For 4 kids, yeah.
Yeah, so I know, that's why I'm laughing. So a lot of people have asked, so.
Have they?
Yeah, people have asked.
How much it costs?
How much is it? Like,
Millions.
what's the rough price?
Millions of pounds.
What's the rough price for 1 child, 2 child? I was
Really?
like, yeah, people have asked. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
Really?
But yeah, people have asked. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's get into it then. So basically, so the first thing is the process, right?
Yeah.
All right, so just to kind of give this a bit of context, in the UK, we pay tax, right? In the UK, okay? We pay all different types of tax in the UK. You got council tax, income tax,
Tax of the tax.
tax on top of the tax.
That you pay for the tax.
Yeah, so loads of taxes, corporation tax, lots of different taxes, right? So in the UK, we pay tax. In Dubai, you don't really pay tax.
No.
Right? On your income in Dubai. So just to give you a bit of context. So it's not like, yes, technically in the UK, healthcare is free, education is free, but you are paying for it because you're paying tax. So just want to put that into context for you. So that's the way that we kind of viewed it. Okay. Whereas in Dubai, you don't pay tax, but you do pay for your healthcare and you pay for your schooling.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to give you a context. Okay. Now, in the UK, you don't really have so much say in terms of the school. it really is dictated by your catchment area and where you live. I'm not sure what it's like in the rest of the world, because I know people watch us for the rest of the world, and I'm conscious of trying to make this relevant for everyone, not just the UK, because we love everyone that follows us around the world, and we want to include you guys. But we can only talk from our perspective as much as we can in trying to include you guys. A little bit of mumbling there, excuse me. I'm a bit late, but you got the point. All right, cool. So, why are you laughing at me?
Listen, what do you want me to say?
I'm trying my best here.
Oh
Why are you
gosh.
laughing at me?
Look, if I'm laughing, then you're entertaining them, so that's a good thing,
Laughing
right?
at me.
So everyone's just
Terrible.
finding it funny.
So basically, okay, so process of how we went to find the school.
Yeah.
So for us, it was easier for us to do it because we came to Dubai with the plan of homeschooling.
Yeah.
Our plan changed, but we were already here anyway, and we were not. It was a bit easier because we were here anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if we were thinking about it from the UK, we wouldn't have been able to research the schools as much as we did.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have got a good picture as much as we did, and we probably would have been scared of coming here to pay for school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It would have been scared.
So,
yeah.
so we were quite lucky in that respect that this is what we did.
Yeah.
So we went to look for schools, and Mummy Charmaine did an amazing job of basically going through all the possible school options.
It took me
Took a week, so
Weeks.
probably best for her to give you an idea of how that went down. So should we first talk to them about the range of schools? And so just before you do that, another thing that we need to cover is, so our children go to a school with the British curriculum. Obviously we're British and they're used to the British curriculum, so we want them to continue the British curriculum.
Yeah.
You do have schools which follow the American curriculum, British curriculum, what other curriculums?
I think like I don't know if they say Indian or Hindi. I'm not sure how they say it, but there is an Indian curriculum as well.
Yeah.
So they have curriculums
So-
for. I think there's even a Filipino one, and there's there's a few I've heard.
So loads of
about,
options,
yeah.
loads of options. The one that was relevant for us was a British curriculum because we came from Britain,
Yeah.
and yes, this is why we did that. So, so in terms of what you looked for,
Yeah.
what was the range? How high did it get? How low did it get? Maybe give them an indication of what you're getting and where we went in the end.
So, first of all, when we were planning to live in the first area we initially tried to live in, I looked at all the schools in that specific area, and then I realised there was not as many. There was actually a lot of schools actually, but they were all quite pricey. So we were like, okay, so let's move closer in, which is what we did. We moved closer in, into a place that we actually really wanted to live in anyway. And there was more school options. So there was like more cheaper school options. There was still the really expensive ones. There was the mid-range ones. There was loads. So obviously when we were discussing it, we had to discuss what, we wanted to spend and what our budget was, right? So the school ranges can go from, look, you can buy a Ferrari or you can buy, a Ford. It's like, it goes from that range. It can go really high. It can go to like, I saw one school was like 150,000 dirhams.
I'm gonna try and do that.
Now,
Let me do a quick calculation
what is that
for you.
in like
Let me do a quick calculation
in
for you.
pounds? So like 150,000 a year.
In pounds, and then guys, you're gonna have to convert it to dollars as well.
Yeah. So
Where you are, but I'll do a quick calculation. 150 AED to pounds. Come on. Sorry for being so slow, guys.
that's
My
like
phone's messing with me.
um
Yeah, so about 33 grand a year.
yeah, so about 33,000
A year per people.
per child.
Yeah, obviously we're not paying that.
Yeah. So they had that, and then they had like, so you've got like 90,000, you've got 80,000. Obviously some schools as well, a lot of the schools here are through schools. When I say through schools, so primary through to secondary. So the rates are usually lower in primary, and then when you go to secondary, they slightly go up. Some schools differ. Some schools go up by a really high percentage, and some of them kind of stay the same, and some of them go up a bit. But anyway, so you have like 150,000, and then you have like ranges from 100,000, 90,000, 80,000, 60, 50, 40. So there's so many. You can keep going.
And what's the cheapest? So they know.
Cheapest is probably about 10,000 AED, which was like 10,000. I even saw something for 9,000 as well. I think 9 to 10,000 dirhams a year.
which is like £2,000 for the year.
Yeah. So they did have those schools as well. Then obviously you have got the state schools, which we spoke about. But again, this would only be, I think if I'm right, they now let expats go to state schools, but it's only if Arabic's your first language is where you want to use a school, have a school like that. Apparently they're really good as well, but obviously our children speak English, so it wasn't equivalent to, it wasn't, we couldn't actually, it wasn't
access that school.
Access
it wasn't right for our kids.
It wasn't right for our kids. And then the 10,000 AED ones, why am I laughing? I shouldn't laugh. But they just weren't, we were scared to kind of go for that price range, only because I don't know what we were going to get. I feel like sometimes when you go a bit too cheap, I don't know, there could be really good schools at that price, I don't know. But for us, when I looked around and I checked like the quality of education and things that you're getting for that price, for us personally, it just, I don't think it would, I don't know.
I think the issue for us is like, it depends where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
So we're coming from the UK.
Yeah.
The UK school system is quite good, to be fair.
No, it's decent, yeah.
It's decent.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure there's other places in the world where it's better, but it's of a good standard.
Yeah.
Of a reasonable standard. So we wanted to, you're always benchmarking against that.
Yeah.
And making sure that what you transition your kids into is not too far away from what they're used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the 10,000 ones were just a bit too much of a stretch down
It was,
from what they're used to. Yeah.
And not only that, what I found with 10,000 AED ones, you probably pay 10,000 AED, and then when you do kind of sign up to school, all the extras, you end up paying a lot of extras on top anyway for different things, probably like a school bus or school trips or just so many different things, books, tuition, exams, and all these things start to climb up anyway. Whereas as in the higher you go, the more is included. So, for example, if you went for 150,000, I'm sure like a car's included with that, I'm joking. But if you went to 150,000, I'm sure like most things would be covered in that price. So yeah, you have to kind of just look at your budget and then look at what you want for your children. So yeah.
So how we went about it. So once we narrowed it down to the budget that we wanted, we narrowed it down to about 3 schools in that price range. They were kind of mid-range schools, price range wise.
Yeah, mid-range schools, yeah.
Yeah, and look, the way we rationalised it was we worked out how much tax we pay in the UK.
Yeah.
And we just rationalised that actually paying for school is a lot cheaper than the amount of money that we're paying on tax in the UK, essentially. So that's how we kind of rationalised it. So the healthcare and the schools would be less than what we pay on tax in the UK. Yeah. But with the tax in the UK, we don't get to choose how that tax money's spent, really.
Yeah.
Whereas with our money, we can choose what school we send them to, and we can choose what healthcare we use. So that's why, for us, that just worked better for us. Yeah. I guess in some respects, yes, it's more responsibility, more expenses, but it was worth it for us in terms of that. So we went to visit 3 schools.
Yep.
Interesting experience. Yeah. We're not going to say any names because we're not here to kind of badmouth schools or whatever the case is. It's just to give you a general idea of the process. Yeah. And hopefully give you guys like a starting point in terms of when you're doing your own thing, essentially. But and all of this is subjective as well. It's just down to us. So we went to visit 3 schools.
Yeah.
The first school was quite a big school.
Yeah.
In terms of, I guess, popular and a well-known school.
Yeah, really nice grounds.
And
looks
so
really
forth.
Nice. Yeah.
But we didn't like it.
No.
And we just felt that the feel of the school wasn't right for our kids.
Yeah.
We went to visit another school. The facilities were not as amazing as I guess some of the others.
For the price anyway, in that
price.
range, yeah.
But the feel was really amazing.
Yeah.
And this is a school that we sent our kids to.
Yeah.
Because we just felt like the feel of the school was really good and it was a good starting point for us.
Yeah.
And this is the one we sent our kids to. Went to another school and that school was terrible.
Yeah.
For us, it's not just about academic for us. We're into extracurricular a lot in our house. So we wanted there to be, enough of a focus on the extracurricular. And as things progress and our children grow more, we may actually move them when they get older into, so as Myra gets older and Sophia gets older, into other schools where they focus more on, say, something specific like drama or sport, and schools which are focused heavily on extracurricular, because our kids are very keen on extracurricular. So it's all down to your personal preference, isn't it, and what you need. But there's a lot of schools. I think.
No, there's a lot of choice.
There's a lot of choice.
Yeah.
And I think what we were surprised at was, how accessible it was. I know the big question you want to know is how much we paid for our school.
Yeah.
And we're not telling you. Are we telling them?
I don't know.
I will tell you. Of course we'll tell you, man. Of course we'll tell you.
Yeah.
So look, we pay for all 4 kids.
Yeah.
It works out to be around 20,000 for the year.
Yeah.
For all 4 kids. Which we think is amazing. And that includes the school bus as well. And so we think that's amazing, really.
Yeah.
For a good education. It cost us more than that for nursery. For 2 kids at a time. Myra and Sophia went to nursery, and then Kyra and Kyla went to nursery separately. So we just got smashed with nursery bills, consecutively beaten up by nursery bills in the UK.
Yeah.
Consecutively. So we think that's amazing, really. And it was just like a good level in terms of like our first school in Dubai.
Yeah.
So we're quite pleased with it.
Yeah, and our school, which is really nice, it includes a school bus as well, which you would find if you come to Dubai, everyone keeps saying it, school buses are quite expensive. So we got that included in our price, so that was amazing. The school bus is a game changer in everything for us. In this, I know school's amazing, of course, but the school bus was
the whole idea as well. Like, some people watching in your country, you use school buses. They're probably common
for you. Yeah,
they're probably common. But for us, in the UK, we didn't use school buses.
No.
So
just some private schools actually I saw had like specific school buses, but that was it.
But we don't have a school bus. And I mean, the school run in the UK is a crazy affair, to be honest with you. The beef that gets done in the school run, it's just so crazy. A lot of people are stressed. There's lots of traffic.
Yeah.
And
parking.
People, in our school there was no parking, and it just gets so heightened.
Yeah.
Emotions are very heightened.
It's
in
just
the morning.
too much.
So
I'm so glad to be away from that. I'll be
if
honest.
Charmaine would do it, she would come back stressed. If I would do it, I would come back, sometimes stressed. And the school run was a lot. So to be able to put them on a bus and for them to go to school, it's just massive because they travel with their friends.
Yeah.
We get so much more of our time back.
Get a lot of our time back, yeah.
So
driving around and
So it's amazing. And I don't know if you covered this in the last blog, but they actually enjoy it, which is...
No, they love it. They absolutely love it.
Which was really surprising because we didn't know how much they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it is safe. They go to a lot of lengths to drive safely, make sure the kids are all safe.
Yeah, they drive slower. So even when you go on the highway, you can see the school buses are on like on one side and they're just driving slower.
Yeah.
They have seatbelts. They have a tracker as well that you can track. So I track them. Obviously, when they first started going on the bus, I was wetting myself consistently. So I'm always checking. Okay, where are they? Where are they? So you've got a tracker and you can see exactly where they are and where they are. And then like the tracker also informs you. Okay, look, we're about to pick them up. So get ready to take them outside. And when they're about to pick them up, drop them home. They let you know as well when they like get close by. They'll say, oh look, we're close by, please come out and collect the children. So at first I was really uncomfortable, I'm not going to pretend, but I've got it's the way of this country, and this is what pretty much a high percentage of people actually do, otherwise you can't go to work really. So a lot of people do it, so I'm actually really comfortable with it now, funny enough.
Yeah, me too.
I really, really like it. And
me too.
I think another thing I was going to say as well about private schools, we in the UK, obviously, I don't know, there is this stigma around private schools, I'm sure you would agree, of it like being high nose, brown nose, it's this other place in the world, and it probably was for us.
For some people, right?
I mean, for some people,
some people think that.
Some people actually do think that it's like, and you know, in the UK, it did feel like that. It's kind of like a different part of the world. A lot of people don't know about it or whatever, but I guess with the private schools here in Dubai, you do have some of that. You're going to have that everywhere in the world. You're going to have the schools that are just a bit like, when you take your kids to assessments, you can just feel like sometimes it will just feel like they're just a number. It's like, okay, look, they have to be of this level, otherwise they're not getting into our school. So the nice thing about it in Dubai, there's so many that you can actually choose the ones where you don't feel like that. Like our school, can honestly tell you when we went there.
It's quite an inclusive school, yeah.
Yeah, it's an inclusive school. The head teachers,
and that was important to us.
That's what was really important to us.
So for some people, you know, they want to be in a more selective school. And look, we respect that. And that, you know, everyone's got a right to choose what they want for their children, especially when you're spending your own money.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But for us, we wanted a school which was more inclusive, and just more inclusive, to be honest. We wanted our children to be challenged, and we wanted them to be challenged in an environment which was inclusive, which was, you know, a good reflection of society. Because the truth of in real society, when you do leave school, you are, yes, you're going to have your friends and your core group, but you are amongst a mixture of abilities and levels. That's life, isn't it? And you have to learn to, you know, figure your way out in there. So that's just our personal preference as parents.
Yeah.
No kind of disrespect to anyone else. But yeah, it's just our personal preference.
Yeah, and it's not even to say anything about anyone else. It's just more actually coming from a place where we've come from, going to a normal state school and going to private school. It's just letting people know in that position that actually they can transition their kids into a private school
in Dubai.
and not feeling very uncomfortable about doing it. So finding schools that actually fit, like Uche said, with like inclusive schools. And yeah, so the head teacher made us feel really, really comfortable, and for us that was everything, because that's someone right at the top of leadership. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if the person right at the top makes you feel uncomfortable, then it filters through down to the teachers and everything else. So yeah, that's what made us choose the school, and obviously with everything else, like the academia, the, you know, extracurricular, everything. So it's just the right fit for our school, for our kids, right now. I'm tired.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, you know, that is what it is.
Yeah.
You have to pick the place which is right for your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we picked where was right for our kids.
Yeah, there's one more thing I just remembered. Someone asked about transfer certificates. I'll just talk about it really quickly. Transfer certificate in Dubai, it'll probably like scare you, because when you asked your actual school, wherever you're from, or obviously from us in the UK, when I asked my school that that the kids went to, they said they don't do transfer certificates, but they do an equivalent. So, and it's fine, and the schools accept it. So it's absolutely fine. All the transfer certificate is just basically a letter confirming that they were at the school for this so amount of time, etc., etc. So our school did it for us, and the private school accepted it, and it was fine. So the process is simple.
What we were saying is, you know, if you are homeschooled, you will do a test, isn't it? The kids will do a test.
No, not necessarily. So this is the thing.
If you're homeschooled, don't have to do a test.
No.
No?
No, so
to assess their level.
It depends. So it depends on when you left school. So every child has to do an assessment anyway. But
for children who have been homeschooled straight through,
yeah,
or for a longer time than our children did,
yeah,
they do a test, right?
Okay, so ours didn't in the end.
No, ours didn't need to, because they had left school. They'd only been homeschooled for 7 months.
Yeah, so
or 6 months, so they were fine.
Yeah, if it's for longer, then there's this thing called a Cat 4 test.
Which
so on top of the actual assessment, they have to also do a Cat 4 test as
just
well.
Just to check levels, yeah.
Yeah, it's just to check the levels. So don't let it scare you. It's just more to check the levels. And I guess, you know, if your children are homeschooled, they want to see where they're at, more importantly, and how they're going to fit back into school, and where they're going to fit back into school. So yeah, that's it really. But apart from that, they just ask for the normal stuff. So immunizations, just things like this. So passport, Emirates ID, these kind of things. So yeah, nothing too scary. The transition was fine for us with the school that we chose anyway. And yeah, they didn't have to do a Cat 4 test, because after they did their assessments, they were actually fine. So yeah.
So yeah, that's it from us. We hope this has been really informative
Yep.
for you. But that's it from us on this topic.
It is.
I mean, you could go into loads of detail.
Forever.
I hope this has given you like a good idea of how the process was for us.
Yeah.
And helps you guys on your process. And we're tired now. It's late here, we're tired.
It is late.
And we hope you enjoyed the vlog. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. The likes keep our channel alive. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we'll be back on the next vlog with more energy.
We will.
And
Peace.
out.
Monago family, ay. Monago family, ay.